We are just weeks away from the start of our new homeschool year, and as we creep closer to that start date, I am starting to come to terms with the fact that this homeschool year is going to look and feel very different from previous years in our homeschool. And that is because at the end of this year, I will be graduating my oldest from our homeschool. So today I wanted to chat a little bit about some of the things that I'm starting to plan and prepare for her senior year. Hey guys, welcome back to my Practically Imperfect Life. Here on my channel, I love to take you through our homeschooling through high school journey and show you that it is totally doable to homeschool all the way up through high school. And this year, my oldest is a senior, my daughter, and emotionally, I'm feeling all of the things. But my analytical, practical side of my brain said, okay, there are things that we need to plan and prepare for and just be ready to have completed as a part of that senior year and getting her ready for college. Now, just a little bit of kind of background information. So she is planning to go to college. She has been given a verbal offer to play golf for IU Indianapolis, which was her first choice school. She's accepted that verbal offer, and then we will have the official signing date in the fall when they set that up. So that's the plan, is for her to go there. She loves that school. She felt so comfortable on campus. She felt incredibly comfortable with the golf coaches. It has the degree field she wants to go into and lots of support for their student athletes. I think it's just going to be a wonderful fit. And like she said, it's away from home, but it's not far from home. And my mom heart can live with that. So she's close enough that we can hop down and visit her on a weekend, or she can come home and visit us on the weekend, but she's still going to get that taste of independence as she goes through her college years. So with her being a senior, there are lots of things that, as her parents, we have to make sure that we have done and ready for her. And I started to kind of create lists because I love my to-do lists. And so I have one specifically for Emma's senior year. I thought I would share that and some of the things that I'm kind of thinking and looking into as you have students who might be getting closer and closer to graduation, just to give you some ideas on things that you might want to put on your own kind of planning lists. So let's just start with some things that are fun, right? Because there should be fun things involved with your senior year and graduation. And of course, we are going to have a graduation party. We've kind of talked to her about that because she's never been one who likes to be the center of attention. But she said that she would deal with that in order to have a graduation party. She wants to be able to celebrate with her friends and with her family and her coaches and just, have people come together. So we will have a graduation party. We will probably have it here because we do live on a couple of acres. So we've got the space. And we purchased a real big 10 by 20 foot tent with sides. We used that this year for my 40th birthday party. And I justified the expense of that by saying, well, we could use it for her graduation party and then a year later for Ethan's graduation party. And so we'll do a graduation party here, and I'm going to let her kind of make a lot of the decisions about that. What does she want to do for food? What does she want the color scheme to be, and things like that? Because traditionally, a graduation party is based off someone's high school colors and things like that. Well, since we homeschool, she can basically choose what she wants her colors to be. So we will definitely have a party for her as we get towards the end of the year. Another thing is to start apartment hunting. Now, she's not required to live in the dorms at IUI, and after talking to her, she'd really prefer to live in an apartment that is somewhere close to campus. She just needs to have like that quiet time. She enjoys being able to come home at the end of the day and decompress and have somewhere quiet where she can focus and study, and I think that is really great. And she loves to be able to keep things really neat, and she wanted to have somewhere where she had room to cook. She loves to cook, she loves to bake, and she wants to be able to do that. So we need to start kind of looking at apartments that are around the school because we don't want her to have to drive very far to get to school, and get on some waiting lists so we can get one as soon as it's available. There's a chance that we might have to, start renting an apartment before school starts, like maybe in the summer. But, that's something that we're willing to do in order to make sure that she gets one and that it's a safe apartment complex and close to school and all those things. kind of going along with that, she also had talked about creating kind of like a gift registry. She doesn't like to receive gifts that are impractical. Like, she doesn't want to get stuff just to get stuff. And so especially at like Christmas time and her birthday, people are always like, well, what do you want? What do you need? And she usually says things like gas cards. And she has a hard time thinking of things that she wants. But she actually said, well, what if I made like an Amazon wish list of things for my apartment? You know, a starter set of dishes and some pots and pans or some decorative items. And I told her I thought that was a great idea. So she is actually going to be working on building kind of her wish list of things that she'll need for her apartment. And we'll use that, we'll share that with the family in order to, you know, give them ideas for things for Christmas and then her birthday, which is in February, and then even for graduation. And I told her we would start doing some furniture shopping as well. We have a couple of pieces here at the house that I think we could give her to kind of get her started. And she'll have things like her bed and her desk, although she's talked about maybe leaving her main furniture in her bedroom here so she has it when she comes home for visits and for holidays and breaks, and maybe getting something that's just a little bit smaller for her apartment. So we're going to be kind of shopping deals all year long, because I don't necessarily want to go out and buy all brand new furniture. That would kind of break the bank, but looking for some good deals on things that are still really nice. So we'll be doing some apartment hunting and some furniture shopping for that. And then senior photos. Getting senior photos set up and getting those taken. Now, is that a requirement? No, but she really wants to do them, and I really want to be able to have them for, you know, the memories, and I know the family would all appreciate them as well. We found a photographer that we have used. There's a photographer who actually does homeschool back to school photos every year. They always offer it, and you can get your pictures taken, and they do a beautiful job every year. And so we'd like to use them for her senior pictures. And they'll do pictures inside, like in their studio, and they'll do outdoor shots. And her kind of wish list is she really wants to do like a flower field or a sunflower field shot. I think she's thinking with like her cowgirl hat, cowgirl boots, all of that stuff. And this is going to sound really funny, but she's a huge fan of Disney cars. Huge fan. And there is someone here in town who has a car that they have decked out to look like Lightning McQueen. And you can actually like rent it and have it come to an event. And so she really would like to have it rented to get her senior pictures with it. And you know what? If I get some beautiful shots of her in front of a sunflower field or in the studio, she can get a picture with Lightning McQueen. So senior photos should be a lot of fun. Obviously, it's an expense to budget for because photo shoots nowadays are so pricey. They're so pricey. And then getting the pictures printed afterwards, but getting that done. Then on not a necessity, but something that I want to do for her is getting a diploma printed. And I really debated on whether or not I wanted to purchase one or if I wanted to just create one with some of my design software. And I thought about it. I thought, well, you know what? They're not that expensive to purchase a diploma, and you can get it printed on real high quality paper. They can be embossed. They just look lovely and have the diploma holder and everything. So I found a couple of websites that I've been kind of scanning through. There's one that's actually called homeschooldiploma.com, and they have a ton of customization options. So if you want to, put in a logo and customize the name and choose the fonts and the colors and everything, and it seems like it has quite a few customization options for a pretty reasonable price. HSLDA offers homeschool diplomas as well, and I found another website called Academic Excellence, which looks like you can also do some customization on, but so far I think the one that I've seen that allows the most customization is the Homeschool Diploma website. So we'll kind of go through, once she's kind of decided what she wants like her official colors to be, I'll get one of those ordered, and then we'll have that for her. Now for more of the must-do items on our list. First of all, we have to make sure that we file a FAFSA this year. Even if we don't plan to take out any student loans, the school is going to require us to get that done, and they use that information to help kind of generate financial packages for upcoming students. And so we want to make sure we have that done. And should we end up needing to take out a loan for some reason or another, obviously we have to have that done in order to take out those student loans. So we're going to have to make sure that we get that done as soon as it opens. And then something that I'm kind of putting on her a little bit and then going to be following up with is finding other scholarships to apply for. Now, part of her offer to attend IUI did include a sizable scholarship, which is incredibly helpful. But, that might cover the tuition. But if you think about it, think of all of the other expenses that go with college. She's going to have books and fees that she's going to need to cover. We're going to have the apartment and living expenses. So essentially like the room and board. While we're not paying for a dorm and like a meal plan, well, we might pay for like a small meal plan. So that way she can get things on campus now and then. But basically that's room and board, right? We want to make sure that we can try to cover those things if possible. And other things that she might need, especially because as an athlete, she's going to have to make sure that she has certain things. And even stuff like making sure she's got an adequate computer to use and all of that. So we want her to be able to apply for some additional scholarships. And I'm going to be working with her. We've been going through some different websites. The IUI website actually has a lot of great links and information to help students find scholarships they might qualify for. And then there are scholarships that they offer, not just the athletic one that she's been offered, but academic ones as well. And so we want to make sure that she is doing all of the steps to apply for those scholarships. I feel like that as a senior, she should be doing those applications. She should be finding the ones that she thinks are a good fit and doing the work of getting that information turned in on time. And I'm going to be here in a supportive role, helping her answer questions that she's unsure about, helping her double check things like essays and whatnot, making sure that those are ready to go and to be sent in. So getting that done. Now, my best friend who happens to be a CPA told me to watch out though, because well, not watch out, but just be prepared for this. But with scholarship money, some of it can be considered taxable income depending on what it's going towards. So from the IRS website, from what I gather and from what she's told me, is that scholarship money that's covering like direct costs of attending the school, so tuition and books and fees, is not taxable. But if you're using it for things like room and board or extra supplies, then it can be considered taxable income. And so we just want to be prepared for that. So if money comes in, that we're putting some aside, assuming that we're going to need to pay taxes on that. So just something to keep note about. And I hadn't even thought of that until I was talking to my friend and she brought that up. So yay. Then I have to make sure that I finalize her NCAA homeschool packet and get that sent in. So the NCAA, for homeschool athletes to be eligible to play at the collegiate level, they have to submit a packet. And it's a pretty sizable packet. There's information you have to put in there about your homeschool. There are these course worksheets that you have to fill out for all of the different core courses, and they have a list of what they consider to be core courses. It's the majority of the courses that she's taken, where I list off things like the curriculum she used, how were grades determined, what was covered in the subject. I mean, it takes a good chunk of time. And I started filling that packet out when she was a sophomore. I went back and filled it out for her freshman year, and then I've been just kind of doing it along the way. I've got to get it filled out for her senior year then, and just kind of make sure that everything is there that they need and get that submitted, and that will make her officially eligible to play. Because IUI is a Division I school, so we have to make sure that we meet all of those requirements for her. And then, I guess this is more of a fun thing, but we will have our letter signing day. The whole athletic college scholarship thing has just been a totally new experience. Neither of us knew what to expect when we went for the official visit she was invited down for, where they made the offer. And we had a chance to kind of ask the coach, like, well, what do we do next? What do we expect next? And things like that. So some cool things are that once the team actually starts practicing this fall, she could go down and meet the team and then practice with the team. And the coach even said that would be a great chance for her to start to meet some of the girls she's going to be playing with. And I think she's really interested in going down and doing that. And then they will arrange like an official letter signing day. So at this point, like, we're allowed to announce that she's made a verbal commitment. And then when she signs the official letter with them, then the school can make the announcement that she's signed to play with them. So we'll have that coming up. Then we need to work on her college admission essay. So just because she's been offered a spot to play golf for them doesn't mean that she's automatically accepted into the school. She does still have to apply to the school, which I have no worries. I think that won't be she's a great student. She's a well-rounded kid. I don't think she's going to have any problem with that side of things. But we still want to make sure that we're, producing, a high-quality college essay and filling out everything appropriately. So getting started on that college essay early. We're going to take a look at the application for IUI and what they recommend for an essay, and as well as looking at the Common App and what is recommended as an essay prompt there. And I'm going to have her spend probably the first couple of weeks of our homeschool year working on that essay, kind of in lieu of doing a whole bunch of other writing assignments. I would like her to spend some time working on that, and that way we have a chance for her to kind of go through it and do a couple of drafts and, apply all of this great writing skill that she's learned over the years to putting that together. Then we're going to look at IUI's application process in more detail and find out when the early decision dates are. Most schools have a time frame where you can apply extra early, and some of them will have kind of the caveat that if you're accepted, then you have to take the spot. Like that's part of that whole super early admission acceptance bit. Not every school does it that way, but some do. But since it's her first choice school, and since she has been offered to play golf there, it seems like it would make sense to go ahead and apply as early as possible to the school. So we want to get familiar with that application process, get it printed off, see what all we're going to need, and start making sure we have things gathered. Now, just because, though, that she's been offered the spot at her first choice school, I still want her to go ahead and apply at the regular deadline time to a backup school. I think it's just always a smart idea to have an acceptance to more than one school, just in case something were to happen. And then that way you have that backup plan, and if you don't have to use it, fine, but at least it's done. So she does have a few other schools that were kind of on her list of like her top 5, and I want her to go ahead and apply to at least a few of those other schools, again, just to have a backup ready. Part of getting ready for that application process also is finalizing her transcript, and I need to check with the school and see if they would like that transcript to be notarized, so that way I know whether or not I can send it in as is or if I need to get that taken care of. Obviously, the transcript won't be finished for her senior year at the time we apply, because we will still be in the middle of her fall semester, and then she has the spring semester to go. And I will have to send a final transcript after, a graduation date that we set. But I do need to find out if we need to have that notarized or not, just so I have all my ducks in a row. And then we'll have to make sure that we get copies of all her dual enrollment transcripts from the school that she's taking those classes at, and get those sent over to IUI. So I think that is everything that is on my list. And it kind of seems like a lot. And when I think back, when I was a senior in high school, I did a lot of these things kind of on my own. I found the schools I wanted to go to, and I did the applications, and I wrote the essay. I had some wonderful high school teachers who helped me with my essay. I applied for scholarships. I went and did scholarship interviews. I mean, there was just a bunch, but I don't want her to feel like she has to tackle all of that alone. And I don't want to miss out on that chance to spend that time with her kind of working on these things. I mean, it's her last full year at home, her last one. And oh gosh, here we go. Here come the waterworks. It's very weird to think that this time next year, I won't just bump into her in the mornings when we're both going out to the kitchen for our first cup of coffee. And we won't be sitting down in the homeschool room, just, quietly working next to each other and helping her with questions that she has, or randomly going and doing some shopping, or walking out to the garden and picking a few things, putting together bouquets together, or going through recipes and deciding what we want to try next. Like we just won't have that. I mean, we'll still have the relationship that we have, but it's going to be very different to have her away from home. But that is the nature of things, right? We raise them up. We try to instill as many strong values in them and teach them how to be independent and self-sufficient adults. And then we send them on their way, while always being there to support them. Like, I'm always going to be there if she needs to call and tell me about her day, or vent about a class, or ask a question about something she's working on in school. I'll always be there for that. And I don't know. It's a lot emotionally, for sure. This is going to be a wild year, guys. I guarantee I'm going to cry more on camera this year than any other time. Okay, well, now that I've turned into an emotional mess, let me wrap up today's video and thank you guys for joining me. I just can't believe again that we are in her senior year. It just boggles my mind that my daughter, who I swear was just 5 yesterday, is now about to turn 18, graduate, and head off to college. And as we go through this homeschool year, we will continue to take you guys along on the journey, showing you the different things we're doing. We'll be sharing very soon here more about the dual enrollment process and what we've been doing for that, about what we've been doing as far as that NCAA eligibility and kind of what our packet is looking like. So if you have an athlete who is going to be need to do that, and you're wondering how to word things or how other people have put that together, we can at least give you an example of ours. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to drop a comment down below. And thank you, as always, for joining me for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one, and until then, happy homeschooling.